G'day folks, it's Laura here, and today I'm going to do a flip cup pour. My colours are a combination of Pebeo and Jo Sonja paints. So these include opaque primary yellow, iridescent gold, Turner's yellow, iridescent precious gold, purple madder, brilliant violet, dioxazine purple, and titanium white. Now, because these are complementary colours, so the yellows and the purples, and the dark colours, so the purples can be very overpowering, particularly when they're combined with yellows, I am going to use a very small amount of these three paints in comparison. Now for this pour, I'm going to be using my standard pouring medium. I'll link to a video on how to make this if you're interested. For the Pebeo paints, I'm adding just a very small amount of medium to start with, and I'll mix them up well before I add more pouring medium. For these paints that I've added only a very small amount of paint, I'm also only going to use a very small amount of medium. Now for these thinner paints, I am actually going to add the thickest component of my pouring medium, which is a wall paint base. I'm just going to add a small amount of it to thicken up these paints, because I'd like these paints to hold together better during the pour. And now I'm actually just going to add the rest of the pouring medium to the Pebeo paints. So it's time for me to layer the cup now. And for this, I'm going to be using my standard cell activator. I'll link to a video on how to make this if you're interested. So this is the titanium white cell activator, and I'll also be using just a very small amount of this lamp black cell activator as well. So I'm going to start with a generous layer of the white cell activator on the bottom and sides of the cup. Now I've slightly changed the order here. I've put the white between the purples and the yellows to remind myself that I do need a barrier between them because they are complementary colours and I don't want to create mud. So I'm just using the white here as a separation between these yellow and purpley kind of colours. So just a little bit of a dirty pour here, pouring from a much greater height to actually stir up the paint layers just a little bit. So I've already prepared my canvas. This is the back of my canvas. I've added painter's tape as well as giant push pins. So it's time to flip the cup now. And I'll just get the rest of the paint out of the cup and spread it around the edges and the corners. So I need to pop the bubbles to start with using my heat gun. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of stretching with this one. Okay, so I might spin that out now. And that's off almost all three of these corners. This last corner is going to be a little bit of a problem because I really like this section here and I do not want to lose it. So what I'm thinking of doing is actually pulling some of the paint that has already come off the base and putting up here to provide an edge that the rest can then roll over. So pick up some of that paint. Okay, now I'll try another spin. Now we're getting closer to this edge, but we're not quite there. So what I'm going to do is put this slightly off center, and it'll be towards this edge. So theoretically, there should be a little bit more force for the paint to come off in that direction. There we go, and I think that approach worked. So I need to pop the bubbles again now. Wow, I'm super happy with this one. Considering what the flip originally looked like, which was incredibly complicated because of course I did a dirty cup by pouring the paint from very high up. Considering that first appearance of the flip, this has turned out just amazing. So being able to expand this beautiful section down here is giving it a focal point. And then there are all these crazy kind of patterns and layers up here in very subtle mid-tones or mid-hues, which is just lovely. So I'm really liking that contrast there. So what I'm going to do with this now is just cover the corners and then pull the paint off from underneath. Wow, there we go. I'm really happy with this piece. Totally different to what I was expecting, but there you go. Anyway, thanks very much everyone for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments.